Well, on average, we spend about 290 hours a year in our cars. I mean, that's some quality time with your car, isn't
That's a lot. And then there's mileage, wear and tear, and inevitably things go wrong.
Something always goes wrong, right? Well, when that happens, you have questions. Peter Fink, owner of Certified Transmission, here to answer them. Good to see you, Peter.
Hey, always a great time. All right.
Speaking of cars, you were in Monaco for the races out there.
I was at the F1 Grand Prix races a week ago. Okay, it was quite the experience. I've never been to the race before, and it was an awesome experience without a doubt. So.
Because those are the Formula One cars?
Yeah, I think they're the Formula Ones. I'm not really familiar between Indy and Formula One and stuff, but since they call it F1, I assume that's a Formula car. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You've got a nice tan going.
Well,
Well, you know what? There was a lot of sun. We were out there,
Yeah.
for 4 or 5 days, watching the cars practice and everything else. So it was a good time.
That's one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Let's get to this first question. It comes from Katie. And Katie wants to know, my husband gassed up my 2014 Dodge Durango with the premium blend because he said it would help the engine run hotter and could increase my gas mileage. Does he know what he's talking about? Is that something that should be done regularly?
Well, that one is a yes and no answer, okay? I always recommend running premium fuel in your car at least once in a while. To me, I feel it's a little better gas, and it helps maybe clean the valves and does give it a different fuel and the fuel system and stuff to help clean it. The amazing thing is you do get better gas mileage with premium fuel. Now, does it really 100% offset the cost? No, and I mean, you're not going to pick up 3 miles to the gallon, okay, or something, but you will actually pick up more, and we've seen this, and I've tested it many times myself. As far as the engine running hotter, will not run hotter, okay? Temperature gauge is going to stay the same. It doesn't run any hotter. But since there are no alcohol actually gets a little bit less fuel mileage, okay? Just like when you use E85, you're going to get way less mileage than you do if you use regular gas, okay? And premium has no alcohol in it whatsoever, and so you're going to get a little better gas mileage, okay? Like I said, does it really offset the price? Probably not. It's close, but I mean, you do get more gas mileage.
Now, this question is very important for a day like today. Johnny's asking, I do not get air to any of the vents, no matter what the setting is on there, speed, temperature, etc. in the front of my 1999 Ford Explorer. I do, however, get air to the back of the vehicle, and it works at various control speeds, but it isn't cold. Please advise.
All right, we possibly have a couple different problems here, okay? First of all, that has a front and rear air conditioner and heater, okay? And that's why the back is probably still working and the front isn't. If the front isn't, they have underneath the dash called the air box, okay? And inside there are doors that open up and close by depending how you dial the knobs or move the lever or whatever the case may be on different vehicles. On this one, a 99 Ford Explorer, thank you for sending the year, make, and model. That makes a big difference on your questions, big time. That is still vacuum controlled. So either we're getting no vacuum to the boxes themselves, okay, or there's some vacuum lines that have come unhooked underneath the dash, okay? Possibly if oil got in them, the vacuum lines deteriorate over years, and since it's a 99, what's that make it, 18 years old? It's possible that they're bad. You need to start there, okay? Then obviously the switches could be bad and not directing the vacuum properly, okay? Now, as far as not blowing cold, even in the back, I suspect your air compressor is not coming on, or the air conditioning compressor, and it's low on Freon, okay? So I think you got two separate problems here, okay, and stuff. You can try to listen if you got a hissing noise for a vacuum leak, check, make sure everything's hooked up on the engine and underneath and try to track it. This will probably have to go to a shop.
I was just saying, I don't know what their skill level is.
This ain't going to be a do-it-yourself.
Yeah, nothing I could fix, I guarantee that.
Probably the normal person isn't going to. This is going to take a little bit of tracking down.
Yeah,
you want that fixed this week.
Yeah, you want it right away. All right, let's get to this. The final question comes from Kevin. He asks, when I turn the blower motor fan on any speed other than speed 5, my headlights go out in my 2003 Pontiac Grand Prix. I have replaced the blower motor fan and the resistor. Any other ideas?
Definitely. Okay, GM had a problem with their ignition switches, okay? And ignition switch, when they start going bad, do bizarre things. I mean,
the lights go out?
It could make the lights go out, your heaters not work right, air conditioner. It can make the transmission not shift right. Matter of fact, it was such a big problem, GM a couple years ago had a recall on certain makes and models. I don't know if this one falls into that, that your car could catch on fire because of the ignition switch, and stuff. So the ignition switch is going to be the problem. We've actually seen this at one of our several of our shops, okay, not just once or twice, and a lot of times for transmissions not working and other things, okay. It's very common on the ignition switch. Again, I doubt that a do-it-yourselfer is going to be able to fix this by yourself to replace the switch unless because you're going to have to take part of the steering column apart and things, probably a shop deal. Now, I would highly recommend get your VIN number, call your Pontiac dealer and ask if there's any recalls on your car. Because if it's a recall, it would be done free. And GM did have probably 1 million or 2 million cars with these ignition switches that were bad. So it's a possibility you might be able to get it fixed for free. I would start there. If not, then get it into a shop and they can most likely get it replaced.
Get into a shop. Any idea how much that may cost to have that ignition switch fixed?
You know, it's not going to be drastic. I would think probably in the 300 category, somewhere around there probably.
Okay.
Well, a recall, hopefully they'll refund you.
Yeah, well, they'll just pay for it, right?
Or pay for
they pay for it. You don't have to. That's the nice thing about if you get a recall. And, you know, being an older car, they might not have notices where to send, you know, and you miss that recall notice or something like that. Check your VIN, call the Pontiac dealer. They'll check it for you, okay? And then they'll tell you yes or no.
Well, hopefully you're in business.
Well,
Peter, thank you. Thanks for your time.
If you have a question for Peter or one of the experts from Certified Transition, you can send it to talkback@omahamorningblend.com. Post it to our Facebook wall or just look for the Certified Transmission tile on our homepage. You'll find it at morningblend.com, omahamorningblend.com.
You got it.